I want to talk to you about something that probably nobody around you is talking about. That private, internal experience of being trapped inside your own mind, of knowing somewhere quietly that you're not fully here, that a significant portion of your attention is always somewhere else, in a past that can't be changed, in a future that may never arrive, in a loop that recycles the same fears, the same regrets, the same low-grade restlessness that makes real peace feel almost theoretical. You're not broken for experiencing this. You're human, and you're also ready because you're here. Welcome to Mindfulness, where Buddhist wisdom meets the ordinary complexity of your inner life. Today we're going to look honestly at the loop, what it is, why it runs, and how gently and practically you can begin to step outside it. 1. The loop is not your life. There's something nobody prepared you for. The mind doesn't just think when you need it to. It thinks constantly, compulsively, automatically. It wakes before you do, and it runs long after you've tried to sleep. And most of what it produces isn't insight or wisdom, it's repetition. The same fears in slightly different clothing, the same regrets wearing a new face, the same worries circling back around like they never left. Buddhism calls this samsara, and while it's often described as the cycle of death and rebirth, its truest meaning lives right here, in your daily experience. Samsara is the mental loop, the cycle of reacting, replaying, regretting, and repeating. And you don't need to die and be reborn to be trapped in it. You can be trapped in it between breakfast and lunch. Here's what makes this loop so hard to break. You don't experience it as a loop. You experience it as reality. When the mind says you failed, it doesn't feel like a story. It feels like a fact. When it says people don't respect you, it doesn't feel like an interpretation. It feels like the truth. And so you respond to thoughts as though they are events. You feel emotions about things that exist only in your mind. You suffer through scenarios that haven't happened and may never happen. This is what the Buddha meant when he said that suffering is created by the mind, not by circumstances. Not because your pain isn't real, it is, but because the factory producing most of that pain is running on imagination, not reality. The loop isn't your life. It's a story your mind tells about your life. And the moment you begin to sense the difference between those two things, something very quiet and very profound begins to shift. 2. Why the mind prefers the simulation. Here's something worth sitting with. If the mental loop causes so much suffering, why does the mind keep choosing it? Why does it return again and again to thoughts that hurt, to memories that sting, to futures that frighten? The answer is uncomfortable but important. The mind doesn't prefer peace, it prefers familiarity. And for most of us, the loop is the most familiar place we know. Buddhism teaches about a concept called samskara, the deep mental grooves formed by repeated patterns of thought and reaction. Like a river that carves its path into stone over centuries, your mind has carved channels through years of repetitive thinking. And water, as it always does, follows the path of least resistance. So the mind returns to worry not because worry is useful, but because worry is practiced. It returns to self-criticism not because it's true, but because self-criticism is the groove it knows best. It returns to overthinking not because it's solving anything, but because overthinking feels like doing something. This is the simulation, A loop so well-worn, so deeply familiar that it passes for normal, passes for you. And here is the quiet tragedy that Buddhism points to so gently. We spend our lives reacting to a world that exists mostly inside our own heads. The insult that plays on repeat, the conversation you rehearse but never have, the version of yourself you keep putting on trial. None of these are happening right now. All of them are consuming your right now. The mind prefers the simulation because it built it, because inside it, everything is known, everything is categorized, everything is under some illusion of control. The present moment, by contrast, is open, uncertain, alive, and that aliveness, as beautiful as it is, can feel threatening to a mind that has spent years hiding inside its own story. 3. The Buddhist mirror, seeing the loop clearly. The first step in every Buddhist teaching is not transformation, it's seeing. Before you can change anything, you have to see it clearly, without flinching, without judging, without immediately trying to fix it. The Pali word is vipassana, insight, clear seeing. And what you are learning to see clearly is the loop itself. Not to hate it, not to be ashamed of it, but to recognize it the way you recognize the weather. Oh, it's raining again. In practical terms, this means beginning to notice the texture of your mental loop. When does it start? What triggers it? What does it feel like in the body when the mind begins spinning? For many people, the loop activates in stillness. The moment distraction ends, the moment the phone goes down, the moment the room goes quiet, the thoughts rush in. This is not a flaw in you. It's evidence of how long the loop has been running. The mind fills silence with noise because silence feels unfamiliar, even threatening. Buddhism doesn't ask you to empty your mind. That's a myth. It asks you to observe what the mind does, to become the watcher of the loop rather than a prisoner inside it. There's a teaching from the Zen tradition that says you cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. The waves are your thoughts. They will come. They will always come. But right now, most people aren't surfing. They're drowning, pulled under by each wave, convinced that this one, this thought, this worry, this memory is the most important thing in the world. Seeing the loop clearly is what gives you ground to stand on. It doesn't stop the waves, but it reminds you that you are not the water. You are the one watching it move. And that shift in perspective, quiet as it is the beginning of freedom. 4. The present moment is not empty. One of the greatest misunderstandings about mindfulness, about Buddhism, about inner peace, is that the goal is to make your mind blank, to somehow delete the noise and arrive at a kind of pleasant emptiness. But the present moment is not empty. It is full, uncomfortably, overwhelmingly, beautifully full of sensation, of aliveness, of detail that the looping mind is too busy to notice. Think about the last time you were truly present, not trying to be present, actually present. Maybe it was in nature, watching something move. Maybe it was in a moment of real laughter. Maybe it was in those few seconds after waking before the mind remembered its worries. In those moments, something opened. Not because the world became more interesting, but because you arrived in it. Buddhism points to this arrival as our natural state. not something to achieve, something to return to. The Tibetan word rigpa refers to the natural awareness that exists prior to thought, the open, clear, knowing quality of mind that's always present, always available, always here. The loop pulls you out of it, but it was never destroyed. You were just distracted. Here's what the present moment actually holds that the simulation cannot offer. It holds contact. Real, unfiltered contact with your own life. The warmth of a cup in your hands, the sound of rain before the mind names it, the breath moving through you right now, in this moment, without needing your permission. The loop will tell you the present is ordinary, boring, that the real living happens somewhere else, in the past you keep returning to, or the future you keep preparing for. But that is the simulation speaking. The present is not empty. It's the only place anything real has ever happened. And it's been here the entire time, quietly waiting for you to come back. 5. The 3 poisons keeping you in the loop. Buddhism identifies 3 root causes of mental suffering. They're called the 3 poisons, not because you're toxic, but because these 3 patterns act like slow poison in the mind, quietly maintaining the loop from the inside. The first is greed, not just wanting more money or possessions, but the deeper hunger of the mind that says, this moment isn't enough. I need things to be different. I need more, or better, or other. It's the part of you that can't rest in what is, because it's always reaching toward what could be. The second is aversion, the automatic push against anything uncomfortable. The mental flinch, the resistance to pain, to boredom, to uncertainty. Aversion doesn't just make you avoid hard things in the world. It makes you avoid hard things inside yourself. And what you avoid, you cannot heal. The third is delusion. And this is the subtlest one. Delusion is the misunderstanding that the voice in your head is you, that the loop is reality, that the simulation your mind runs is the same as life itself. Together, these 3 keep the loop spinning. Greed pulls you toward a fantasy future. Aversion pushes you away from an uncomfortable present. And delusion convinces you that this is just how things are. Recognizing these 3 movements in your own mind, not as moral failures, but as automatic patterns, is one of the most quietly liberating things you can do. Because once you see the pattern, you are no longer fully inside it. You begin to notice, oh, this is greed speaking. Oh, this is aversion. Oh, this is delusion. And naming something clearly is the first step toward no longer being controlled by it. You don't need to destroy these patterns. You need to see through them. That seeing is itself the medicine. 6. What Buddhism says about identity and the loop. Here is perhaps the most radical thing Buddhism teaches, and also the most freeing. The self that feels trapped in the loop is itself part of the loop. What Buddhism calls anatta, non-self, is the teaching that what you think of as you is not a fixed, solid, permanent thing. It is a collection of thoughts, memories, sensations, habits, and stories that the mind weaves together and labels as I, and that I is not the observer of the loop. Most of the time, it is the loop. It's built from the loop. It's maintained by the loop. This isn't something to fear. It's something to feel into, slowly, gently, without forcing anything. Because when you start to question the solidity of the self that is suffering, something loosens. You realize that the person who keeps replaying that old conversation isn't a permanent, fixed you. It's a pattern, a habit of mind, a groove that runs when triggered. And patterns can change, habits can soften, grooves can be carved differently over time. The Zen teacher Shunryu Suzuki said, "In the beginner's mind there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind there are few. The loop makes you an expert in your own suffering. It makes you certain of who you are, certain of your limitations, certain of your wounds, certain of what you're capable of. But beginner's mind, the mind that doesn't already know, is the mind that can step out of the simulation, because it hasn't yet decided that the simulation is all there is. You are not the character the loop has built. You are something earlier than that, something quieter. The awareness in which all of that character's thoughts arise. And that awareness has never been trapped. It's been here all along, watching the loop run patiently, silently, waiting for you to notice it. 7. How to actually break the loop. The Buddhist way. Everything up to this point has been about understanding. And understanding matters. But at some point, you have to practice. Not because practice is a punishment, but because the loop was built through repetition, and it can only be softened through a different kind of repetition. Here is what the Buddhist path offers, not as rigid technique, but as gentle redirection. The first practice is simply called coming back, not arriving for the first time, coming back. Because the present moment is not a destination you've never been to. It's home. And the practice is just returning to it again and again, without frustration, without drama, without treating each return like a failure that needs explaining. You get lost in thought. You come back. You get pulled into the loop. You come back. There's no scorecard. There's no finish line. Just the quiet act of returning. Buddhism teaches that each moment of noticing, each moment where you catch yourself inside the loop and gently step back, is itself a moment of awakening. Not dramatic awakening, not enlightenment in a flash of light, just a small, clean moment of clarity. And these moments accumulate. The second practice is working with the breath, not as a relaxation technique, but as an anchor to what is actually real. The breath is always happening now. It can't happen in the past or the future. When you place your attention on the breath, you are placing it in reality. The loop cannot survive in reality. It can only survive in thought. So every breath attended to is a moment the loop loses its grip. Start with just 10 conscious breaths a day, not 10 minutes of meditation, just 10 breaths where you actually feel the air moving in and the air moving out. Let that be enough to begin. The third practice is what Buddhism calls metta, loving kindness. And this is where many people are surprised, because you cannot break the mental loop through force or judgment. You've probably tried that. Telling yourself to stop thinking, criticizing yourself for overthinking, getting frustrated at your own restlessness. It doesn't work, because fighting the loop feeds the loop. Metta is the alternative. It's the practice of meeting your own mind with warmth rather than warfare. When the loop starts spinning, instead of attacking it, you turn toward yourself the way a good parent turns toward a frightened child. Not to fix, not to scold, just to be present, just to say, without words, "I see you. It's okay. You're safe." This gentleness isn't weakness. It is the most powerful thing you can bring to the loop. Because the loop is, at its root, a survival mechanism running in a body that doesn't feel safe. And the deepest way to break a survival loop is not to fight it, but to offer it what it's actually been searching for. Safety, presence, the felt sense that right here, right now, you are okay. Practice these three things: returning, breathing, and meeting yourself with kindness, and not as a program, not as a self-improvement project, but as a way of living, as a quiet daily choice to come home to yourself rather than remain lost in the simulation. The loop will still arise, thoughts will still circle, but gradually, almost imperceptibly, you will begin to live more of your life on this side of the loop, as the witness, as the awareness, as the one who notices, rather than the one who is endlessly, exhaustingly lost inside it. 8. The life that waits on the other side of the loop. There's a version of your life that exists outside the simulation. Not a perfect life, not a life without difficulty or grief or uncertainty, but a life that is actually yours, felt in real time, lived in real moments, experienced with the full presence of someone who has stopped rehearsing and started arriving. Most people never find this life, not because it's hidden and not because they're broken, but because the loop convinces them that what it's showing them is all there is. It becomes the wallpaper of their inner world, so familiar, so constant, that they stop noticing it's even there. But you're noticing it now, and that noticing, quiet and unglamorous as it feels, is the beginning of a different way of living. Buddhism doesn't promise you that life will become easy when you step out of the loop. It promises you something far more valuable, that you will be present for it, that the joy that comes will be felt, not just observed from behind a wall of thought, that the grief that comes will be moved through, not recycled endlessly in the chamber of memory, that the love in your life will reach you, actually reach you, rather than being filtered through layers of worry about whether you deserve it. There's a teaching attributed to the Buddha that says, the trouble is, you think you have time, not as a warning, as an invitation, because the loop steals time. Every hour spent inside the simulation is an hour not spent inside your life. Every day the loop runs unopposed is a day lived at a remove from yourself, from others, from the one irreplaceable experience of being alive in this particular body, in this particular moment, in this particular brief and extraordinary window of existence. The people you love, they are here now. The beauty around you, it is here now. The version of yourself that is quiet and clear and capable of real rest, that is here now, underneath the noise, patiently present, waiting not with frustration, but with the kind of patient, unconditional stillness that the Buddhists call Buddha nature. You don't have to earn your way back to presence. You don't have to think your way there, or fix yourself first, or wait until life becomes less complicated. You just have to begin in this moment, in this breath, to practice returning, to practice choosing the real over the repeated, to practice being here in your actual life rather than inside the story your mind keeps telling about it. The loop will call you back. It always does. But each time you hear the call and choose presence instead, something in you strengthens, something in you remembers. And slowly, over time, the simulation loses its hold, not because you fought it, but because you stopped needing it, because the present moment, This moment, always this moment, turned out to be more than enough. If something in this felt true to you, hold on to that feeling, not in your mind, in your body, in your breath. That recognition is not an idea. It's the beginning of a different way of living. The loop has had your attention for a long time, but presence has never stopped being available to you. It was here before the first thought of the day. It will be here after the last. Subscribe if you want to keep coming back to this, to the quiet, to the clarity, to the part of you that already knows the way home.